Good evening, guys, and happy Sunday. Merry Christmas to all of your sunshiny faces. I keep forgetting today is actual Christmas. Today is the 25th. I'm like, oh yeah, like we celebrated Christmas yesterday. I'm like so totally thrown off right now. And then like I see everybody like posting everything like about Christmas and stuff like that, and I was like, why did I not see any of this stuff yesterday? I was like on Christmas, and I was like, wait a second, that's because that was today. I was like, everything everybody's posting about is actually from today. It was not from yesterday. So yeah, guys, I woke up a little bit later today actually because I woke up so early yesterday on our Christmas morning, and I went to bed not really late last night, but I ended up waking up kind of like late today because again I was up super early yesterday. So didn't really end up doing anything much today, just kind of laid around, watched some football games. We ended up all kind of doing all of our different things, and I was gonna share with you guys kind of what we ended up getting for Christmas, possibly in today's vlog, but I think I'm just gonna do that maybe tomorrow's vlog. Like me and Matthew and Jack ended up getting like some different video games and stuff like that. So actually today, throughout the day when we were watching like the football games, we were in here all playing our Switch. I got 2 new Switch games, plus I also got the gift card. I actually shared with you guys the deal at Meijer for that. Plus I also ended up getting like the 12 months online, which with the Switch you get like the NES and the like SNES games as well, like the ones that they have digitalized online. You can play those when you have like the online, so I have those as well, and so I was playing a handful of those different games today. And then Matthew and Jack got the new Pokemon game, so they were both playing that today as well. So like I said, for the most part today we were kind of just actually laying around watching TV and like I said, playing our games. And then we also ended up then later in the afternoon, we ended up watching the Spider-Verse movie. I think that's what it's called. I want to say it's like called something else, but the new one, I think that's why I'm thrown off, because the new one that's supposed to be coming out, I don't remember when exactly. I know the trailer came out for it, but that one's like Into the Spider-Verse or something like that. But like I said, that I think that like I said, whatever, the one we watched is the first one, but I think that that's the name of the movie. I don't know. Anyways, so we ended up doing that today when my mom woke up, and like I said, we really didn't end up doing too much today because my mom was sleeping for the most part, so we couldn't really do anything either that was like too loud. She is at work right now, so that's why again we didn't end up doing too much today. It's so weird though, guys, like after Christmas, as soon as Christmas is over, once we're done celebrating, I always am like, oh, like Thanksgiving's over. For some reason, to me, Christmas always, like I've noticed this the last probably at least 2 or 3 years now, as soon as Christmas is over, to me it just feels like Thanksgiving's over, and now I'm ready to move into like the holidays, like into actual like December, and I'm like, wait, no, like it's like that was Christmas that we just celebrated. It was not Thanksgiving. For some reason it always feels like Thanksgiving to me, like, and I'm thinking about that too because I was like, oh well, like next month, you know, after like the new year, and I'm like, wait, like we're moving into the new year in like less than a week right now. Like, so it just feels like, or I guess it is a week from today will be the 1st, is that right? So for me, I'm just like thinking, like, again, it's like it's November right now, like it's not December, and this wasn't Christmas, this was Thanksgiving, and next month will be, you know, like December, and then about a month from now will be, you know, a month and a week close to that will be like, you know, the new year. Like I'm not thinking like that it's like a week away, and I've done this for some weird reason. Like I said, like probably the last couple of years has felt like that to me for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just like, oh, now that Thanksgiving's over, and I was like, wait a second, that wasn't Thanksgiving, that was Christmas. So yeah, I don't really know why, guys, but guys, it is still so cold. I cannot wait until Wednesday when we will finally get back up. It's actually slowly been going up, like whatever day it was on the 23rd or something like that, or the 22nd, or the 20 whatever day it was, I don't know. Actually I think it was the day we went to Meyer, that night into the next morning, so I think it was Wednesday into Thursday. On Thursday, because it was so cold, like it's actually, I think that was the coldest day possibly, or like again maybe up to yesterday, but it's actually been slowly getting warmer. Like today I think that it stayed above 0, which is kind of cool. Like I think we stayed for the most part. I'm not exactly sure like tonight how cold it's supposed to get down to, but at least when I woke up, which again was a little bit later though, it was like at least 10 degrees. And so and I think the high was like maybe 12 or something like that. It's supposed to gradually keep getting warmer up until Wednesday, where it's finally supposed to get back up into like the high is going to be like 30 something. And I told you guys by next Saturday it's going to be 50 degrees out. My dad said something too, that he looked up that the weather, like it's supposed to rain. There's a chance of rain every day after, like starting tomorrow up until like the new year, I think, or as far as the forecast like that he can see. So like I said, that I'm not like, I don't care that there's snow outside. It's kind of nice. I wouldn't mind having snow for like New Year's, and then after that, if the snow wants to go away and not come back, I'm okay with that. But I'm just not happy with it being so cold, because it's just too cold out, guys. Like again, it being, you know, like 10 degrees is ridiculous. But again, with the wind chill, I told you guys the coldest we got down to was like something like crazy -30 or whatever. So like that was like the real feel, or like, you know, the temperature with wind chill and everything like that. So one of the things that we're going to do that we realized that is probably needed to be done for some time is actually get our attic insulated, because our attic is not insulated. Well, part of it is. The previous owners before us ended up like randomly slapping some, just like the what's it called, the like insulation, like the fiberglass insulation up in the attic, but I don't think it was ever insulated even before that. And but then because we had a leak, it was raining, and so it's all like soggy and it's like needs to be thrown away. It's not, it does nothing anymore. And on top of that too, we have rolls of it that were never even used, that were just like thrown up in the attic, and we'll probably want to get rid of those too. Like we are not going to use those, because we're actually going to go with something possibly different, because I was looking into all of that yesterday actually, and how to do it and stuff like that. But again, we're probably going to do that, because we realized how horrible really our house is insulated. Also too, I think our walls, our exterior walls, they are insulated with something. Like we don't have like blown in insulation, like either loose or like the the stuff that like they put down like in that like foams up kind of stuff. We have some type of like barrier sort of stuff, I guess. And our house is brick, but we just realized that it's really bad. So I don't know how much we're going to, at least at this point right now, be able to do any of like the exterior walls. At least that's what we think, because of like what we've been able to, from living here for so long, have been able to tell from the outside of like what the exterior walls, how they're insulated. But I know for sure the crawl space is not insulated and our attic is not insulated. So we're losing a lot of heat through both of those things. So we are looking into actually getting that a little bit better insulated. So we've been looking into that, and that's one of the projects we probably want to get to, but there's 100 other little things that we have to get to first. You know, also too with our projects of our bedroom situations too, and moving around the bedrooms and stuff like that. So I think that that might be one of the projects that we're potentially working on this week, because my dad is off for the whole week. And I keep thinking today is Monday, guys. It's not, it's Sunday, and it's actually Christmas, because I'm like, oh, like today's the first day that my dad has off, and I was like, no, it's normally is Sunday. He normally has off today, but then he has off all of next week. So we're gonna try and get some of the like I said, that done. We want to try and start with getting some of the rooms moved around, and again, it's a whole process, and I have the whole thing of how the process is supposed to go, but it's like I can't get everybody on board. And also too, because a lot of this stuff is not mine, that needs to be taken care of or handled or cleaned or anything like that, I can't do it, and I'm not gonna go and move other people's stuff around. So it's like I don't have everybody completely like, you know, motivated, I guess, to get moving too. So I feel like this week is we need to get kind of on that as well. But we are going to, like I said, kind of do some of that stuff. I wanted to do something kind of today, but it's just the cold is like, I don't want to move today because it's just so cold. So again, hopefully by Wednesday when it gets warmer, and then, you know, from there on out it'll be very warm. We don't have to worry about being bundled up so much, because I just feel like I'm like all like wearing like a big puffy coat all the time because I've got like 3 layers on because I'm so cold. And it's actually like not really that bad in our house. It's like 70 degrees, but it's still like, it feels cold, you know, like it's a difference of it being like 70 degrees in the house in the middle of summertime and being 70 degrees in the house in the middle of winter time. The 70 in the summer is like hot. You're like, ew, this is disgusting. I need shorts and a t-shirt on kind of thing. And 70 in the winter time, you're still like, I'm freezing cold. We need to bundle up. How else can we keep the house warm? So like I said, I think this made us realize that's one of the big things that we got to get done too, is redo the insulation. So I found and did some research into insulation, but not just the regular typical like fiberglass insulation, but a different kind, like the moisture barrier sort of like barrier insulation. I don't know, it's a whole long thing. I'm not going to totally get into it, but it just seems like it will be more efficient, and also too for crawl spaces as well, which is one of the other things, because I don't really want to, we have to do a lot of plumbing work too, and so to do it in the crawl space and like put the stuff up only to have to tear it down for it to be very expensive to do is going to be a pain. So this will actually be a little bit more inexpensive if we have to take it down to get plumbing stuff done. But also too, I think we should try and get the plumbing stuff done before we try and do the basement insulation or like the crawl space insulation. But we can't do insulation in the attic, but I would also like to finish organizing the attic and get it done, and it might be best right now actually while we have all of our Christmas stuff out of the attic to do that. So I don't know, just a bunch of stuff that I've kind of been playing around with today and thinking about and kind of gearing up for probably this week and getting some of that stuff done. But guys, I put the dog sweaters on them, those ones we got from Menards for them for $5 each. Even Bliss's was only $5, but again too, then the puppies were also $5, which I actually think was really good. But oh my gosh guys, they're so cute in them. They fit them so well. All 3 of them fit well into their shirts. And on top of that too, sometimes with some of the dog clothes that we wind up having to put on them, like their sweaters and stuff like that, it stinks because sometimes it will wind up kind of like be more like a shirt, and so they will wind up, we have to hike it up on them for them to go outside to go to the bathroom, otherwise they wind up peeing in them. So these ones actually though are cut perfectly underneath, like on their chest, so that we don't wind up having to hike them up on them, and they can keep them on while they're outside to stay warm, because again, well, it's 10 degrees out or -30 with a wind chill. They need to stay warm. We already had one of the dogs almost not be able to make it inside because their little feet were too cold. So actually with both the puppies, they ended up coming in the other day and could barely walk inside because it was so freezing cold out. But like I said, we should look into getting them the little booties too. I was thinking about that. But their sweaters are more to keep them warm right now because like I said, it's so cold when they have to go outside to go to the bathroom. But this is Brav in his little sweater. Hi Brav in your little sweater, huh? So if you guys can see, like this is actually cut lower on him, or higher I guess on here. And then this actually goes further down so that it actually fits them really well. And like I said, guys, for only $5, these things are like, you know, again, they're not going to be the most best quality, and Bravo's kind of already snagged himself a little on the sweater there, but like I said, for $5, Bliss got hers that fits on her too, and hers says Wolf on it. That I think that she likes to wear her sweater, don't you, Bliss? Huh? But I'm happy that, like I said, when we take them outside, like with their Christmas pajamas that they have on, we have to hike them up because literally it will go down to like down here, and this is almost down to her butt. So again, it winds up coming down down here, and then when she goes to the bathroom, we have to pull it all the way up, and then it really doesn't even bother to keep her warm because she's hardly wearing it because we have to hike it up so high for her to go to the bathroom in. So like I said, these are actually like really perfect. Surprised I found the perfect sweaters for them to wear out in the cold at Menards of all places for only $5 for their Black Friday sales that we ended up doing. But you like it, Bliss? Does it keep you warm? Huh? Yeah, you do. She's like, why did you wake me up? So, and Charlie, I think, is in my room hiding right now or wanting to go to bed or something. But Brav likes his, don't you, buddy? Huh? Yeah, you like your sweater? Is it nice, your Christmas sweater? Oh, but I found Charlie in here. You were sleeping in my bed, weren't you, buddy? Hello. Yes, see, Charlie's got his same green one on as well. And like I said, too, again, the way it's cut on him, it's like it can stay on him when he's laying down like this, too. Again, going to the bathroom outside. And, like, not all the sweaters that we've been able to get for them fit well, though, too, where we don't, like, it will be cut like that still, but they're still, like, too long on them. These actually fit them perfectly. And again, too, the size dog that we have, we got 2 smalls for the 2 smaller dogs, which again, Charlie is more of a dachshund and Bravo is not, so he's longer, so obviously his fit differently than Bravo's, but surprisingly they actually fit well. And so does Bliss, you know, it fits on her well. So again, like I was saying, I ended up picking up those ones though because I thought that the style was kind of like actual like Christmas sweater style. The other ones they have weren't, I don't know, they're kind of just like fun or like goofy ones. Like one of them said like, I love bacon or something like that, which was cute. But I thought that these were like really cute because they're like the style kind of all matched. So Bravo and Charlie both got the green ones and then Bliss ended up getting the red ones. But the whole thing that I was trying to tell you guys about with the cold temperatures right now is that my hands, guys, are so bad. I guess my dad gets this also. But I think that it's because this last week especially, I've been doing a lot of the dishes, like hand washing a lot of the stuff to go into the dishwasher, and so I've been trying to stay on top of that, and I just feel like too, like just from like cooking, baking and stuff like that. But I think what's worse about it right now is because of how cold the temperature is, and washing the dishes is just washing it under hot water. I'm hurting like and drying out my hands, but also too using dish soap with them, I'm drying out my hands, but then also too the cold air is also drying out my hands. So my hands right now, I've got little cuts on them because they're cracking, because they're just so dry. And honestly too, using like lotion on them is not even really helping either because it's just my skin is so dry. I did wind up using like lotion after I came out the shower, but my hands are what just dry out the most, I feel like. And it like hurts now though because I have like little cuts all over my hands because they're cracking. To actually put lotion on them is like painful. I am like completely stuck between a rock and a hard place as to like what I'm going to do because like I said, it's like painful to have them being dried out, but it's painful to put lotion on. And the lotion is worse because it's like stinging versus like my hands are just dry, so now they're cracking. Like again, like dry lips and stuff like that, and not wearing like lip balm, it's like the same thing. And so that's what's happening with my hands. My dad gets this like all the time. Like in the winter is really bad, especially when he works outside and stuff like that. But what he said is that it always seems like for him is like having like, you know, going from like one extreme to the other, like having his hands be really cold and then like warming them up or something like that. So he tries to like make sure he's always wearing gloves, like not in the house, but like, you know, like whenever he goes outside and stuff like that, even if it's just like, oh, I'm just taking the garbage out, like he bundles up and puts on gloves and all that kind of stuff, so that his like the temperature in his hands aren't really like changing all that much, or like aren't exposed to the cold quite as much. So like I said, that's what he said works for him. But I have like literally today I went out to the freezer to go and get something for dinner. I went to go get pork chops. That was the first time that I've been outside since before Christmas. So before even Christmas Eve, I think, which again for us was the 22nd. So it was like, or no wait, that was the 23rd. So I don't even know that I went out of the house though, because that was Thursday, I think. No, maybe I did. So that when we went to the Meijer, or else it was on Wednesday. So like I said, that I think was actually the last time I left the house. So it's not like my hands are like going from like an extreme, like I went outside and it's freezing cold, to coming in and it being freezing or, you know, super warm. It's, I think, more of like me using really hot water to wash the dishes, plus like I said too, the soap drying them out, and then just being cold from the cold air too in the house, and also too potentially the dry air in the house of like using the space heaters and the furnace going and stuff like that. It's very dry in our house as well, and so I feel like that is another reason why, like I said, it's like right along my knuckles are like the absolute worst right now too. And so Oh guys, it's just, it's a pain right now, and I have not hardly wanted to do anything because my hands are all like, and my skin just in general is all really dry right now. But anyways though guys, I'm gonna take a shower and get to bed. Like I said, I'll probably share with you guys maybe tomorrow all the gifts and things like that we ended up getting for Christmas. But the one thing too about Christmas is that a lot of times, like I showed you guys in yesterday's vlog, obviously our Christmas day, but like, and we normally wind up going really big for Christmas. We wind up again doing a lot of, you know, food and like, you know, a lot of presents and things like that. But the one thing I will say about like the gift giving especially too is that like, and Jack was even saying this, I think he brought it up at some point, like over football season, because I think it was something about one of his friends or something. He was like, oh, one of my friends got this game, or they got this new thing or something like that. And he's like, you know, he's like, we don't really do that, but for Christmas normally, he's like, I get way more gifts than any of my friends. But like our parents, like especially too growing up, like we would never wind up really like getting gifts like just randomly, like where they'd be like, oh, we're just gonna buy you this like new video game, or like, oh, we're just gonna buy you this like, you know, dolls or toys, or you know, like any of that kind of stuff, like when we were growing up. And like still it very rarely I feel like happens, maybe compared to especially a lot of other people that we know, where they're like, oh, like I ended up getting this like in the middle of July, you know, and stuff like that for my parents or whatever. You know, normally it's like Christmas we go really big. Like that's where like if you want something, you put it on your Christmas list in like May, because you know, like you're not gonna randomly get it from somebody. Like you have to probably end up, you know, again when we were little it was like save your allowance if you wanted a new toy or, you know, a game or like whatever it was. You know, if not, you had to wait until Christmas to get it. So and that's like the same way it is still. So like I feel like all the time, like when I'm like, oh, I got like all this stuff for Christmas, it's like to some people it's not really that much, and then to some people too it's like, wow, you got a lot of stuff. I was like, yeah, but my parents like never bought me anything during like the regular year. Like, other than for birthdays, we don't get gifts really from, like I said, like our parents or anything like that. It's like birthdays, or again too, like even for Easter we don't get anything. It's normally just like candy, you know. And again too, like my parents will normally wind up sort of like buying gifts for each other too. We normally wind up buying a gift, but we'll also buy gifts for each other on like Father's Day, Mother's Day. Like we'll normally get like a bigger gift kind of, but then again to me, Matthew and Jack normally also wind up buying them whatever gifts for their, you know, like I said, Mother's Day or Father's Day. But like that's normally like, and again too, we don't normally all the time, very often wind up like, unless it's something you're buying for yourself, wind up like treating or like giving gifts to other people throughout the year. You know, just like I said, sort of for like random occasions. And like that's the same thing too, is that my dad has been buying, I showed you guys some of that stuff from Meyer especially too, like stuff since the summer, fall time, I guess. Like all of that summer clearance stuff we ended up doing, and I think it was like August or September, October, or whatever it was. Like to some people that would be like, oh, we're just buying you guys these gifts randomly. It's like, no, we wind up buying stuff like like even last year I think my dad ended up buying stuff in like May, and ended up giving it to Jack and Matthew for Christmas, because they had a sale at Target on some of their like t-shirt kind of things. But like that's the other thing too, is that you wind up only normally getting like winter clothes a lot of times in like near Christmas time, because that's what stores have. So you won't normally wind up getting like spring, summer, fall clothes really even too. It's normally always like super, you know, again, like warm sort of winter clothes. So it's like if you want summer clothes, you gotta buy them yourself kind of thing, again with our whole scenario of how that works. Like that's why when my parents see or find deals on stuff, a lot of times, especially my mom was saying too, she's been putting stuff aside for like months, like probably again since spring. And again too, like I was telling you guys, like the deals we were getting at Meyer, my dad was putting that stuff away for Christmas. So my parents buy stuff kind of sometimes throughout the year if they find really good deals on things, but then they'll wind up again holding on to all that stuff and then just gifting it for Christmas, or possibly people's birthdays as well. Like I heard my dad was asking my mom, he was like, oh, weren't you gonna give that to, like, I forget if it was me me or Jack, like for Christmas or for their birthday or something like that. And then my mom was like, no, I just decided to give it to him for Christmas. So she honestly too will sometimes like stockpile gifts and then just wait and then give it to us for like birthdays too. But depending kind of on what is coming up. That's why a lot of times we'll wind up with a lot of stuff from Christmas, but it's like stuff that is not all bought at the same time. And again too, when my parents do wind up finding deals and things like that, it's normally saved until Christmas time if they do wind up buying stuff throughout the year. It's not like, oh, I just, you know, like, oh, you really wanted this, you know, game, or again, clothes or whatever it is. I mean, clothes are kind of a different story. If it's like you really need socks, my parents are gonna be like, no, wait for Christmas, you know, kind of thing. But again, in like certain situations where if it's not something you need, you kind of just like want, you know, like, oh, I really like some more, like, you know, of this or that or whatever. You know, a lot of times they'll wind up kind of, if they find a deal on something too, wind up holding on to it until Christmas. And like I told you guys, I'm all about the deals, so I'm always looking for stuff too, especially throughout the year. And if I wind up finding things and being like, oh, I think that person really wanted that, or, you know, like whatever, I can be like, you guys can buy this now. The only trouble with that is that sometimes you wind up buying something for someone, like say in, again, June, July or whatever, but then they're like, I really want it that bad, and they go out and buy it for themselves. Then you got something for them that they wanted, you know, for Christmas, and then you're stuck holding on to it or having to go and return it, or like gifting it to another person or something like that because you have something that they then ended up buying for themselves. So that would be the only other thing that's kind of sometimes, you know, like a little difficult about buying Christmas gifts super early on in the year. It's like, normally too, my parents always say like, stop buying stuff for yourself in like November, because they might wind up again buying it and gifting it in plans of gifting it to like a person, unless again it's something they really want. But if it's like, oh, like we're gonna get you like this game or toys or, you know, whatever it was, like kind of at that point we weren't really allowed to like buy anything after that, because they didn't want us to buy duplicates of what they're already planning on getting us for Christmas. So yeah, anyways though, like I said, you guys saw our living room yesterday was like, there was boxes and boxes of stuff everywhere. And on top of that, guys, funny story, my mom, all of a sudden, we're going through and, you know, we go in order, like, okay, youngest to oldest. We get to my mom, and after like a handful of presents, she has no more. And my dad's like, I have a whole list of all these presents for you. He's like, did you open this? Did you open that? And then my mom's like, yeah. And my dad's like, okay, no, I know I have more gifts for you. He's like, I remember buying this stuff. He goes upstairs and finds out that he has a whole nother garbage bag full of stuff that he never ended up wrapping. And he was so excited because he was done wrapping Christmas presents on, I think, like Christmas Eve or the night before Christmas Eve or something like that. And he was so excited. And then he ended up finding out that he had a whole bag of stuff that he mostly for my mom that he didn't end up wrapping because he bought so much of the stuff earlier on. And so the newer stuff that he'd gotten, like, you know, that was just recently coming in, you know, or just recently that he had bought, you know, he wrapped that stuff and didn't end up wrapping the stuff for my mom. So my mom's like sitting there and we're like, oh, well, maybe it's like further in and we couldn't get to some of the stuff. So we're like, okay, well, like, you know, we skipped my mom for like a round or two and we still like can't find anything under the Christmas tree. We find out that my dad has, he said, hidden all my mom's Christmas presents upstairs in a bag that was not wrapped with anything. So he kept bringing stuff down then in gift bags. My mom was cracking up because my dad kept reusing like the exact same gift bag, and she's like, it's funny, I've seen this bag like 5 times now. So yeah, he did that one year too with Jack's Christmas presents. He ended up, they were already wrapped, but he didn't end up putting them out under the Christmas tree. Apparently it was a stack of stuff that he had forgotten or put in a different place or something like that. And it was almost all of the video games he ended up getting for Jack. So Jack kept opening up like clothes and like all kinds of other little things. And like, you know, me and Matthew were like all opening up like, you know, again, like video games and all this kind of stuff. And Jack's just like, okay, like another shirt, like thanks, you know. And he's like, I'm pretty sure I put like, you know, this stuff on my Christmas list. And my dad's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I bought you some video games too. He's like, you haven't opened one. And this was like the longest, like a joke for like the longest time, because Jack had like, we literally almost finished opening all of our Christmas presents and Jack still hadn't gotten like one video game that you put on his Christmas list. And like I said, me and Matthew probably opened up like 2 or 3 or 4 each. And then all of a sudden we're like, my dad's like, okay, something weird is going on. So this was, I think, 2 or 3 Christmases ago. Then finally he gets up, he goes in his room, and he's like looking around, and he's like, Kayla, I know I got this thing for him, like, but I have no clue, like, you know, it must not be under the Christmas tree, like, and I can't find it anywhere. And then finally he ended up finding a bag of stuff that he had wrapped and forgot to put out. So now that is like, I think we said this year though, it was like my dad almost did it on purpose, like, you know, we were joking around about that, but I don't think so. I think that he just like ended up forgetting about a whole bag of Christmas presents too. So again, that was like, now it's happened twice, but to 2 different people. And again, it's been like a whole, like almost one person's like whole Christmas gifts of stuff that like doesn't wind up actually underneath the Christmas tree. So like I said, the one year it was Jack, and then this year ended up being my mom. But I realized I forgot to share that with you guys yesterday, our fun little almost Christmas tradition now, which is to have at least one person not get all of their Christmas presents put underneath the Christmas tree. So like I said, I am going to take a shower now and get to bed, but I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.